During a recent visit to Gombe State, the First Lady of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Remi Tinubu, claimed that the era for corruption was over in Nigeria due to her husband's reforms. Listen to her claims attentively.
First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, has boldly declared that the era of branding Nigeria as the most corrupt country in the world has ended, urging citizens to stop bad-mouthing the nation and embrace national pride as international perceptions shift positively under her husband's administration. The First Lady made the comments during her official working visit to Gombe State, where she commissioned several health facilities, including the newly established Federal Medical Center in Kumo. The First Lady emphasized that the world now views Nigeria as a nation of opportunity and rising global relevance owing to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ongoing reforms.
In the spirit of Mr. President, that his speech was different, calling on us and Nigerians, stop bad-mouthing your nation. Gone are the days when they say, oh, Nigeria is the most corrupt country. You won't hear that again. When people, even when I go abroad, when they hear you're from Nigeria, everybody's interested. They want to come to Nigeria. Nigeria is the next destination. We have to be proud. What we have to do is rise up and build. I'm 65 years old now. I pray I live long. But I'm working so hard so that when my husband finishes tenure in office, then me too, I can walk around safely. That is what drives me to do the work.
Well, her comment has garnered a lot of reactions, but in their recognition of the First Lady's efforts, the Lamido Ako conferred upon her the traditional title of Queen Warrior of Ako Emirate, honoring her commitment to championing the interests of vulnerable groups across Nigeria.
I like the boldness and courage of the First Lady for making such declarations on corruption in Nigeria. But the question is, have the reforms of President Bola Tinubu reduced corruption in Nigeria? On the contrary, however, a distinguished and fearless senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ali Ndume, says corruption is worsening in Nigeria. He said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us.
Well, let's turn to the main reason for this interview, corruption in Nigeria.
That's part of what Pengasen is doing. They are just a corrupt institution milking on the Nigerians,
right,
and they even now holding Nigerians by the neck.
Well, beyond Pengasen, I mean, corruption is not just at the top levels. As you yourself have pointed out recently, it is pervasive throughout the population and culture, and has been that way for decades without a pause. How big a stink do you think swirls around the issue of corruption in Nigeria?
Charles, this issue of corruption, as you know, you are a Nigerian too, and almost all of us, or everybody, even those that are involved, are becoming worried. Because if you are a thief, no, not you as a person, but if someone is used to stealing and he's not sure of securing the stolen goods, then it becomes a problem. So even when you steal and you keep it somewhere and somebody feels comfortable to steal what you have stolen, then there is a big problem. If we don't address the issue of corruption, as there is this saying that if you don't kill corruption, then corruption will kill you.
I think the issue you raised, which was what piqued my interest, is that you were asking why Nigerians glorify and celebrate, glorify corruption and celebrate those who succeed in it.
It's because, first of all, like, I'm a politician and people are expecting much from me, so they try to compare me with others that have questionable source of wealth and expect me to do the same. Because
so you don't have questionable wealth.
Well, I cannot I cannot evaluate myself.
Well, I mean, you know what are in your accounts. You know where you get your money from.
I don't think you will believe me when I tell you what is in my account. And let me take a simple bet. Give me all in your account and let me give you mine.
I like that. I might actually agree to that.
No, agree to it now, and we have witnesses here. I swear to God, let's sign on it.
Right.
So I know myself, but I'm not saying that everybody has his own way of thinking about. But in this country, you know, Charles, unexplained wealth is being celebrated.
True.
Questionable wealth is being celebrated.
True.
That affects our total resources. In Nigeria, people that steal publicly, you know that this somebody who is, let me give an example of us in the National Assembly, or some of us, they come here, they don't even have a good car to ride, they don't have a house, but within the short period, we know our income is known, even with the ones that you guys are shouting that is too much. Like in senators, everybody knows that the cost of running the senator's office is about 20 million, but his salary, or my salary, as at last month when I saw, was 750,000 naira. But you see somebody spending at a go maybe 100 million naira or at an occasion, and people will just say, oh, in our own in the church. You go to the church, you get the front seats, and the pastor will say, God has blessed so and Jesus has done so. And then when you go to the mosque, you are in the first queue, even though it's not supposed to be like that. He will come late, or sometimes even the imam will wait for him, just because he has unexplained wealth.
But is there a paradox in the fact that most Nigerians you speak to will tell you they hate corruption?
No, I don't think so.
And yet they are complicit in the same act that they condemn. I mean, I don't know if you read the article by this guy called Mohammed Abdul Salam on the subject. Brilliant article, but he does a very good job of pointing out the nexus between culture and corruption in Nigeria. He writes for Primer Africa.
Okay, but let me first of all say that, next tomorrow will be 65. Nigeria itself. I'm older than Nigeria with 1 year. I will be 66 in November. When we were growing up, we knew that especially politically exposed people are subject of scrutiny in the eye of the public. The famous Sardauna Ahmadu Bello was jailed on a suspicion as related to revenue of the government, and so many others. I know of my people who went to prison because they cannot account for the common jangali, what you call it, local taxes. But today, you see, most of us, the politically exposed people, have virtually corruption has been legitimized, and people don't even think about it. They sleep with their two eyes closed, or even celebrate it. Even when some of them, when they go out, they are declared as criminals and jailed, and when they come back home, they are celebrated.
But why doesn't that kind of thing ever raise the hackles of the people in the National Assembly who represent the Nigerian people? I mean, corruption is something that is plaguing this country on virtually every level. It's in the schools, it's in the markets, it's in the hospitals, it's in the ministries, it's everywhere. I mean, and the National Assembly is there to represent the interests of the people. No, why is it? Is it because they themselves are allegedly active participants in that process?
I'm not here to defend the National Assembly or to even blame it, you understand? But the fight against corruption is supposed to be a collective responsibility. In fact, it's supposed to start from the executive down to judiciary, and then the corrupt anti-corruption agencies. We have the ICPC, we have the EFCC, we have the DSS, we have even the police, or even the judiciary itself. And let me admit that we have very nice guys that can do their job heading these institutions, especially this time, because I personally know the chairman of EFCC. I also know the chairman of ICPC, and I know that of DSS too. These are guys, and the institution can be useful to start addressing this matter. Not the type they're doing now by just media trial and all that. No. This is supposed to be covert operation. And that's why I say once, like in Britain, they have what they call UWO, unexplained wealth order. They will just go and obtain an order from the court, and then what you have that is above your normal income will be confiscated until you prove ownership or the source. That's been done there.
Yes, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, in the US, what they do is they confiscate first. And then if you think that it belongs to you, then you go and prove it. But in Nigeria, it's not the case, because our law has a lacuna, and that is the biggest problem. In other criminal offenses, you are presumed guilty until proved, until there is a proof beyond reasonable doubt. You understand? But reverse is supposed to be the case.
Well, you mentioned the people who run the anti-graft agencies. I mean, you talked about the EFCC chairman and so on. It's interesting that they themselves, who are supposed to be fighting graft, are often hounded out of office. I mean, with allegations of corruption trailing them.
Yeah.
I mean, virtually every one of them. I mean, you know, their tenures ended with some form of controversy involving allegations of impropriety. And even in some cases, they were arrested and detained. I mean, so if the allegations are to be believed, at least some, if not all of them, become allegedly the criminals they're supposed to be going after.
Yeah, because that is normal characteristics or this thing of corruption. When you're dealing, it's everywhere. Even in the, it's like you're dealing with criminals, mostly like politically exposed persons. Then you are talking about drug dealers. In some cases, you are dealing about criminal businessmen. You know, they will go out of their way, or they go too far to implicate or bribe you or come around. So it's not easy. But as I said, the cream of head of anti-corruption agencies we have now, given the right instrument, they will be able to do a good job.
But is there pressure on people like yourself in positions of influence to be corrupt? Because Nigerian society, I mean, you've said this before, encourages very high expectations of you if you're in a prominent position. So for instance, if you don't give contracts or positions to your people, they'll say you're a fool and that you're selfish. So the more you share your piece of the national cake with your people and your friends and your cronies, the less it is considered corruption by them, and they'll come to your defense.
You're right. In most cases, as I said, corrupt people are tried. So I think few in Nigeria were tried outside, and when some of them are even jailed, but when they come back home, they are being celebrated.
That is true.
The opposite is the case.
Good evidence of that.
Yeah, the opposite is the case if it is outside. Because of the shame associated with that, some even commit suicide.
Yeah, and you're virtually ostracized.
And then some of the countries are completely intolerant. Just day before yesterday, a minister in China, Jiang, or what is his name, was sentenced to death.
A whole bunch of people were also sentenced.
And the senator,
today, actually.
Senator Mendes,
or yesterday,
was alleged to have collected bribe from Egyptian government. He's now serving, I think, 5 years imprisonment, including his wife, because he was given.
But you don't push for these things. I mean, you're
how can I push something?
You're the lawmakers.
No,
why don't you push for this to become law?
To be fair to us in the National Assembly, we established ICPC. We established the law. We established EFCC. And then we gave the DSS powers. And I'm a legislator now asking the president or the government to sponsor an executive bill on unexplained wealth. So it's not like, because this corruption at the end of it doesn't help anyone. Because if you steal 1 million today, and then you share it, and then maybe you keep just part of it, next time more people will be coming, urging you to steal more.
But that's pretty much what is happening, isn't it?
Yeah, and it will go. No, thieves are being celebrated. There are some of our colleagues that, because of the position they are occupying or the influence they have, they dip their hands or they connive with.
When you say you mean your colleagues at the National Assembly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of them cannot explain their wealth anyway. And that is what
But
we're
nobody
talking
asks
about.
them anyway, so they don't have to explain it, do they?
No, I don't think so. As I said, number one, these are people that constantly cycle around the powers to be.
So they feel protected.
They feel protected.
Also-
And then some of them even pay protection fee. You know what I mean with that? It is.
You mean like the mafia?
Yes,
stuff?
when they steal, the money, or then they also
To keep the rabble rousers quiet.
quiet.
Well, you're a rabble rouser. Do they try to keep you quiet?
No, I don't think so. It's only when, it's only when you have something to hide that you fear. As
So
I
they
told
avoid you because they know they
No,
might,
no,
they
not
might
that
come
they-
to you and you go on you go on the television
No,
and
no, no.
say
It's
that.
not like that. So many people used to
try
go
to
on
give you
television,
money.
but they can't find anything against them. For me, as I said, I wish if this thing would be adopted, and I should be the first one to be
Yeah.
called.
Well, I'm
in.
glad you're bringing this to public attention because that is the way that you have been. You've always been a kind of forerunner. I was wondering when you were going to come up with a new word for this kind of behavior because, I mean, you've drawn our attention to words like kleptocrats, kakistocrats, etc. And I expect you to come up with corruptocrats
No.
or
instead-
contractocrats, which is a government.
No, but you forgot one thing. There are a lot of plutocrats in the system too.
Yes, that is true.
But you don't blame the plutocrats because they are going in there to
Yeah.
make, to profit from the government. And let me also say that I just don't create those words. Kakistocrats,
No, I know. It is in the dictionary.
it's in the
Yeah,
dictionary.
but what I'm saying is that you draw attention
But
to
as I said, on a serious note, Nigeria has to do something about corruption. And I repeat that if we don't kill corruption, then corruption will kill all of us.
But what about the prevalent notion that if you are a politician, it doesn't matter what shade of politics you pursue, never criticize the ruling APC, which is your party. Instead, join the party and you'll be fine because all your EFCC problems will disappear. Is that a fact?
No, I don't think so. But I can say that whether deliberately or by default, some people will be in the system and no eyebrow is raised about allegations or accusations
Right.
that has to do. But suddenly, when they have a brush with the government, then they try to come after him. At one time, I think, as I was following my own case, I discovered that they have to find something to talk about it. And at one time, it has gone off now, but it was on social media, online, this thing, that I am one of the richest senators. In fact, the 10th one with over $500 million. And
And you said, no, I'm only worth $100 million.
no, I said, if I have $1 million, I will be with you in London.
With whom?
With you. You will get me an apartment or I'll buy a house. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So for me, if we are really going to find corruption, it should start by me being investigated.
Yeah.
To explain.
And you're happy to be investigated.
I will be. Because I'm politically exposed person.
Yeah.
They should check my bank accounts or what I have in the bank and call me in to explain how I got that balance. That is, if there is any balance anyway.
Well, let's see what happens.
And before I forget, we agreed that you are going to transfer all your monies in the bank.
No, we didn't agree.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm just told that we've got, I mean, the time has been flying. We've done, almost 45 minutes. But
What is your take regarding corruption in Nigeria? Drop your views in the comment section below to stir a conversation. Like and subscribe to this channel for more engaging content.